Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 15, National Football League. In week 13, I dubbed it Showdown Sunday in the National Football League. NFL Network took it a step further in week 14. They dubbed week 14 Survivor Sunday. Okay, nice. I said in week 15, after watching all of the games unfold and how a lot of them were upsets and outcomes that were a little surprising to many of us, I said it was letdown Sunday. A lot of teams had opportunities to do some serious damage in the standings on Sunday in the National Football League in week number 15. And a lot of teams simply failed to take advantage of opportunities that were given to them. Not just on Sunday, on Thursday as well. Remember, the Denver Broncos fell to the San Diego Chargers. Oh, how we forget so quickly. Thursday wasn't that long ago where the Broncos were upset in their own building by the San Diego Superchargers, which opened up the door. And just ever so slightly, that door is now ajar. And now it's time for the Kansas City Chiefs to kick that door in. And so a golden opportunity for the Chiefs to knock this division up at 11-3 going into week number 16. They got a great opportunity to do that against the Oakland Raiders in the black hole. And it's AFC West family business. But like I've said time and time again, at the end of the season, there's no time for you to be having discussions and arguments with family members. You go in, you settle the dispute with the family member, you handle it, and you go away and you handle your business and you don't look back. There's no time for you to be jawing back and forth with a family member. He said, she said. No, you go in, you lay the law down, and you tell your family member, look, I don't have time for this right now. I'm going to the playoffs. You sit here, you can argue with somebody else that's not going anywhere. I don't have time for it. You handle your family business, and then you get out of there. And that's what I expected the Chiefs to do in this game. And boy, did they ever. They didn't waste any time. Is it me, or do the Chiefs have one of the best, or if not the best, special teams unit in the league? How many teams can go 3 or 4 deep at the special teams unit? I mean, Dexter McCluster didn't even play in this game. And Quentin Demps was still a monster, still had a huge return to start this game off, to really set the tone. I mean, it was so bad. It was boom, Quentin Demps return, and then bang, next play, Jamal Charles touchdown on the screen. I mean, that set the tone for this game. If I've ever seen a tone setter, that was it right there. I mean, they let the Chiefs, or excuse me, they let the Raiders know, we're scoring 56 on you today. And wasn't it just a month ago when this Chiefs team couldn't score 30 to save their life? All of a sudden now, this Chiefs team is an old-fashioned gunslinger now. I mean, they could go and pull out their 6-shooter, pop, 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 and let off a couple of quick rounds before you even blink. They put 45 on the Redskins' head last week. In a losing effort, they put up, 38 or so against San Diego, and now they put up 56 on the head of the Raiders. What's gotten into these guys in Kansas City? Kansas City! And Captain Checkdown, he's morphed into a down-the-field passer. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Dun-dun-dun-dun, it's Captain Checkdown! Able to pick up a first down with 3 short passes to the running back. He's still checking it down, but they're going for big gains. And if you're not careful, if you want to come up, he'll stretch the field. He'll throw it to Donnie Avery. He'll throw it to Dwayne Bowe. He'll even throw it to McGrath if you're not careful. He's pushing the ball down the field. And I'll tell you what, this Kansas City Chiefs offense is gaining confidence by the week. They're realizing that, hey, if we want to make any noise in the AFC playoffs, we're going to have to score some points. Good for you, Kansas City. Good for you that the light bulb has finally come on. And if you blinked twice, the score was 35-10. Obviously, and this was very apparent watching this game, the Oakland Raiders have never seen a screen in their entire defensive lives. You would have thought that the Kansas City Chiefs invented the screen and they broke it out a la the Wildcat circa 2008 in this game. You would have thought that the Chiefs invented the screen and they broke it out in this game, and it was a play that has never been seen before because they simply could not stop it. And remember when Jamal Charles was a poor man's Chris Johnson? Remember that? Well, it's the other way around now. Chris Johnson is a poor man's Jamal Charles because Jamal can do it all. Jamal can catch it. He can run it. He can block in the back. I mean, he just does everything. And boy, did he ever in this game. It was 35-10 though. Hats off. Imaginary tip of the cap to the Oakland Raiders for not allowing this to get out of control like the Redskins did a week ago. This could have easily been an assault that ended up 45-17. I mean, the Raiders could have laid down, but they said, hey, this is family business. You're not going to embarrass me in front of my home crowd. I'm going to make this a ball game. And the Raiders ran off 21 unanswered points to cut the lead to 35-31. But that's where it ended. Chiefs said, okay, enough's enough. Time for us to run away with this game and not look back. And they ended up scoring another 21 unanswered points in this game. This was a game of runs. It was 21-10, Chiefs up early. And then it was 35-10. Chiefs ran away with the game. It looked over at that point right before the half. Then the Raiders run off 21 unanswered in this game to cut it to a 4-point deficit at 35-31. And then Chiefs say, aloha means goodbye. And they run away, scored 3 more touchdowns, 21 more unanswered points. And they win this football game 56-31. So I think a couple of takeaways from this game. Number one, Kansas City, huge win. You got it done on the road within the division, and you handled your family business the way you're supposed to down the stretch. You told the Raiders, hey, sit down, shut up. I'm doing all the talking. You're doing all the listening. You handled your family business, and then you got out of it. That's the way you do it. You don't allow this to be a back and forth conversation. You don't need to hear what the Raiders have to say at this point. They have no input on what you're trying to do right now. You're trying to do something that's way bigger than the Raiders. And they were in the way, and you had to move them out of the way, and that's exactly what you did in this game. By virtue of this win, you go to 11-3, and more importantly, you tie the Denver Broncos for first place in the AFC West. Now, still, you need help because they swept you. So being tied isn't enough for you. You need to win this division by having a better overall mark than the Denver Broncos. So you still need a little bit of help. Maybe those same Raiders can help you in Week 17. Maybe somebody else can help you in Week 16. But you still got to take care of business. Whether they win or they don't, you got to win in order to take advantage of them not winning. And so by virtue of their loss on Thursday and this win for you on Sunday, you're now tied atop the AFC West once again. One more Denver Broncos loss coupled with a Kansas City Chiefs win, and you're atop this division. So keep playing football the way you're playing it. And I like the fact that you're scoring points now. No mercy on your opponents. It's not okay to score 17. It's not okay to score 20 or 23 points. You want to win in the postseason. And look, you got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to play defense. You can do both. So your team is going to travel well, just in case you're the 5 seed. You're going to be able to travel well in the AFC playoffs. But I tell you what, if you got to get into a shootout with somebody, if you got to go and outscore Indy in Indy, and you got to put up 31 to do it, you're equipped to do so because you're scoring points down the stretch. That's very refreshing to see if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. For the Raiders, I look at it like this. I think we found out something. I think we're both in agreement now. Your franchise quarterback is not on the roster. Can we both agree on that? I think so. I think we can both agree that Matt McGloin is not who you thought he might have been. Okay? He's not a starter. He might be a quality, competent backup, but he's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback. I think we can both agree on that. So you can go ahead and look for your starter, your franchise QB of the future in the draft in 2013. I think that's one thing you need to go ahead and handle. As well, Terrell Pryor, what purpose does he serve? Other than a third-string quarterback. And I think, don't you already have like Tyler Wilson or somebody on the practice squad? I think he's on the P squad. So what purpose does Terrell Pryor serve? Okay, because that read option, it's dead. It's dead in Oakland. Around the league, other teams can get away with it because there's actually the threat of the pass. With Terrell Pryor, there's no threat of anything else other than him using his legs to exploit the defense Not going to happen. You can go ahead, put that one to bed. If you need to get rid of him, you do so. If you want to hold on to him, knock yourself out. But he shouldn't be anywhere near your top 2 quarterbacks on your depth chart. I think we can come to another agreement there as well. But I have to give you some credit because this game could have gotten way out of hand. Way out of hand when it was 35-10. You didn't allow that. Well, now it ended up getting out of hand toward the end. But again, it could have been 56-13. It could have been 56-17. But you didn't allow it to get that way. You made this a 4-point ball game in the third quarter. Then the Chiefs decided, all right, enough's enough. We've got some business to attend to. And you're in the way, and they took care of business the way they were supposed to. Family business. What happens in the family stays in the family, and the Chiefs made sure that they took care of business and moved on to their next opponent. And so, if you are the Oakland Raiders, tough loss. Again, I think you got some pieces here. Marcel Reese, he's a stud. All right, you got some pieces here. Rivera, I like him at the tight end position. You got some things you can build on. I'm actually starting to really like Rashard Jennings. When you sign him, I'm like, what does he do for you? He's growing on me. He's really starting to grow on me. Okay, I like Rod Streeter. So you've got some stuff to build around offensively. You just got to find that quarterback to make it all go. Don't think you have that guy at Oakland right now. You need to go find him. But Chiefs get it done 56-31. Take their record to 11-3. They clinch a playoff berth. Do the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, you were going to make the postseason anyway. You didn't need the NFL to officially tell you that you were in. You were getting in. You're more worried about winning the division and being the number 1 or 2 seed than you are being the 5 seed and saying, hey, I clinched a wild card. Thank you. Hey, good for me. I clinched a wild card berth. You knew you were in a long time ago. It's about winning this division if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. You want to be the number 1. You want to be the number 2 seed. You want to have a first-round bye. You want teams to have to come to Arrowhead. You can be a road warrior. You can do that. But you don't want to if you don't have to. And if you get a couple of wins down the stretch and the Broncos falter and lose another game, it could be you, not the Denver Broncos, hosting some playoff games at Arrowhead come January. So we'll see. But you got to keep taking care of business like you did in this football game. You go to 11-3 on the season with a huge win on the road, handling some family business versus the Oakland Raiders, 56-31. Raiders drop to 4-9 on the season, and another tough loss for the Raiders. Again, they hung tough, but they were no match for the Kansas City Chiefs on this day. And so that's going to do it for this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. That happens in the National Football League, whether big or small. We cover it all here in the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me in Letdown Weekend. Chiefs did not have a letdown. They took care of business like the Kansas City Chiefs are supposed to against the Oakland Raiders in the black hole. It's going to do it for me in week number 15 on this particular program. I've got plenty more games in week 15 to break down in the National Football League.